to mystical theories. Okay, let's stick with the plan, dude.
All right, I'll just go portal in a tree if you want.
That probably would work.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably go find some cells.
What's the weakest division in the NFL? Is it really the NFC South? Is that really the weakest division in the NFL?
No, because the Panthers are getting better, so it's not.
Okay. What is?
I'm gonna have to go the AFC South. The only good team in that division is the Texans. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Right, I can buy that. Right.
All right, it's $50. Just PayPal.
NFC South is right behind them, though. And you're right.
Not.
Carolina did get better. They did.
The Saints are the only fucking bad team, dude.
Really?
They're the only below 500 team in that division.
So because Atlanta has Bijan Robinson, they're good.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking Atlanta sucks.
Atlanta got better too. Did you not watch the offseason?
They couldn't get worse, dude. They couldn't get worse.
Did you not watch all the teams upgrades? Did you not pay
everybody but the Lions?
So you watch everybody but the Lions.
Everybody upgraded but the Lions in the draft.
I'm not talking about just the draft. I'm talking about free agency too, buddy.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, you're sitting on 50 million in cap. So, what are you going to do?
Obviously not spend it.
So we can sign another star receiver.
No, they're saving it for Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams. Is obviously what they're doing.
Jameson Williams, wow.
Whatever.
You guys would pay him too.
I've seen the Packers do dumb stuff too.
Yeah. That's the life of having Dan Campbell as your head coach.
That's the life of everybody doing chewing tobacco.
Yep.
He's got a hotter wife than all of us.
Actually,
have you seen my wife?
You're telling me your wife's hotter than.
Hold on.
So yeah.
Hold on.
Let's show a picture. Put it up there.
If we're going off coaches here, former and current,
I got you.
I'm gonna go out on a whim. I'm gonna go look at Bill Belichick,
McVay,
Mike Zimmer,
Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's right there, dude. Whatever.
Mike Zimmer. Okay. Have you not seen his girl?
Okay.
Have you not seen Bill Belichick's wife?
Okay, yeah. So now we're talking about a pedophile list of head coaches, and
come on, dude.
What's going on, Ken? What the hell are you doing? Okay, yeah, I should have let you do it, Chad.
That's what I tried to do. You hit it.
You need to practice. You need to practice. No, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Hey, what's up, Ken?
Tutorial continues on StreamYard.
Do you see that where
somebody turn his volume up?
Hey, Chad, do you see the comments?
I don't care about the comments.
You should, because that's a big part of your show.
I already ran that comment earlier.
Yeah, we don't get comments, man. Nobody will.
Because you don't interact. You have to learn to interact with the crowd. You have 50 people.
Hey, crowd, here I am. Interact.
That's why he's got me now.
You got 50 people watching. You should have some interaction.
I left some comments when I was watching from Mike's page. I don't see them on here.
Nothing popped up. No,
they didn't populate. Okay,
that's weird. And for some reason, it won't let us go live on Huddle Sports Network Facebook page.
That's probably because
I tried 3 times. I removed
it. Banned.
Because Woody commented from Mike's personal page too, and I don't see it here. So it might be because it was sent to his personal page and not the Mike the Bear fan page.
So how you doing today, Ken?
Wow.
Busy day, man.
What's your opinion on international when we go 18 games and the league wants to?
Oh, they're expanding it. You kidding? It's a cash cow. They know it. Look at why does every team have a region outside the U.S. that they are allowed to flood the market with advertising gear and do promotional stuff? Why does the NFL keep adding a game every other year or so to the schedule internationally, because it is a huge untapped market that they are going to bank millions and millions of dollars. And they've been smart. Think about it. You do London, you got U.S. air bases all over London, all over Europe, all over England. Then you go to Germany. We have U.S. Army and Air Force bases all over the place. You go to Dublin, right, across a 1 hour flight or a short drive for some. Spain is the first European country. There aren't a bunch of U.S. Oh wait, no, you've got a Navy base in Spain. I'm sorry. They're doing it not far from U.S. installations in big markets where they've been flooding the market with NFL propaganda, if you will, and because they know it's an untouched resource that they're going to profit millions on, and they own those market shares right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they're going to keep doing it.
What do you think? Are we going to have 2 international teams? Is Toronto or Mexico City maybe going to get a team?
I said that last summer on Ken and Ken. I said last summer, watch, they'll end up with 2 teams, one being in London because that's where the majority of games have been. The infrastructure's there. And the other possibly being Germany, be it either maybe Munich would be a good one because Allianz is probably the best one of the best stadiums in Europe to do it in. And they'd both end up one in the NFC East, one in the AFC East because of the shorter plane ride for divisional games. You're talking a 5 to 6 hours from Philly, for example. You can catch direct flights to either of those cities from any NFL city. I'd even say that I dare say, and I said last summer, I would not put it past them to put a Super Bowl in London.
Yeah, that would probably be good.
Oh,
they would make so much money.
Yeah, the money would be insane.
Not like any of us can afford to go to the Super Bowl here in America, anyways.
No, I could have gotten tickets last year, and the pre-order those tickets when they were first offered, just to secure your ticket, was $3,500 a person. So, yeah, I mean, the NFL is looking to expand. The NFL wants to have.
What's up?
Roger Goodell envisions the NFL itself becoming what FIFA is to international soccer, what FIBA is international basketball. He wants the NFL and our rule book and our style to be the international governing body for American style of football.
And we know it's watched overseas. NFL is watched.
Yeah, and forget that the CFL is about 10 years older than the NFL. Forget any of that. They want to make the NFL and our style and our rule book become the FIFA of American football. Because look at hockey, look at soccer. If you look at hockey, the NHL has its rule book, and international hockey is different, right? Different size rink. The rules and the basic rules, but the rink dimensions are different, stuff like that. Soccer, everything is adhered to no matter where you play in the world by FIFA. Roger Goodell wants that for the NFL. He wants everything to go through the NFL offices in New York. So that means eventually, if he gets, and we're not going to see this in our lifetimes, I doubt, but eventually when you get NFL franchises in all these different countries, they have like FIFA has, where you have in the United States, you have the NFL. In Canada, you have the CFL. In Germany, they have their own league, and then they have UEFA for American football. You have CONCACAF for American football. They have regional tournaments and a big international tournament every 4 years, and Roger Goodell and the NFL are lording over all of it. Okay, I'll be right back, gentlemen.
What do you think, Richard?
I listened to you, and I agree with you about the Toronto, because the fan base up there is really passionate. And I don't really know much about Mexico City, other than I've been to Mexico, but as a tourist. So, but I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
You think they keep the games going over to Europe just like as international games and not have like an actual team there?
I think they keep the games, but don't put a team over there.
It'd just be a headache with that flight travel.
Yeah.
It would take a big expansion. You'd have to create one team division.
Right.
4-team division over there.
My mouth. Yeah, 4 or 5 teams right there in that area.
Yeah.
Well, it would open up for international people, that don't get the look. They don't get the look in the NFL because they play football overseas, and might, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Probably not.
I'd say it's going to start happening like between like the 2030s, 2040s.
Okay.
Once the NFL starts getting all this revenue in from these international games, I think you're going to see it skyrocket. And then now you throw in all like the games being on streaming services, and the streaming services are booming too.
They're even doing that. They're doing it to all sports, basketball, baseball. Yeah. All of a sudden, I can't watch my Tigers because they're on some special channel.
But also, you look at it, they're gaining hella viewers, like in new viewership, just off these streaming services alone. So I mean, it's just going to skyrocket.
The thing with the streaming services that's unique is the NFL would say being on Netflix. What does that mean for the NFL? That means that they can now air the game in England, in Germany, in Japan, in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Those fans now get access to those games because now, granted, anyone's travel will tell you Netflix in Mexico is different than Netflix in the U.S. They offer some different programming, right?
Okay.
But the NFL, with their structure, with their deal with Netflix now can, the Christmas games that are on Netflix will be played globally. That audience now has access to it because it's on the streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
Prime doesn't do that. Netflix does.
Oh, okay.
They're the only one. I don't think Prime does that. I think Netflix is the only one that does. The deal with the going with all these streamers, putting games on streaming only, it's a cash cow for the NFL. It doesn't necessarily it doesn't grow their viewership. It's more or less for the streamers designed to grow their viewership, right? That now Chad will buy a subscription to watch his team on Netflix or on Thursday Night Football or on the NBC app, whatever it is. That's primarily why they're paying all that money, because they figure the NFL is a hot ticket. I can get Darren to buy, who's a Vikings fan. The Vikings are going to be on this app only for 2 games. I'm going to get Darren to pay me $10 a month for my app for 12 months, $120. It's worth it because his share of it is $40. So I'm still making $80 for all my.
Darren would pay for it. We know that.
And that's what they're doing. So, but with the international game, I mean, if you look at the way they've done it, they've really put it in places where there are already a bunch of Americans. Because being a service number overseas, I can tell you honestly, this is what you get. Whatever game AFN has on. Okay, so you get whatever AFN game you get. That's the closest thing you get to American football. But now, if you're stationed in England at an airbase or in Germany or someplace like that, and you can actually go to an NFL game, oh yeah. That's why all those American fans are there. They're coming from the Army bases, the Air Force bases, the Navy bases, the Marine Corps, the embassy, the Marine Corps staff. All these Americans that are assigned overseas, that's why these first games were in places strategically. Right. There already are a bunch of Americans. And now they're growing the fandom to the Europeans. And now they're doing the flag football thing in the Olympics, which is going to get more people playing at least base level flag, which will then get them into playing tackle along with the NFL games being shown over there. The closest thing you can put to it is like the dream team after Michael and MJ. All those guys.
You mean the one Isaiah was kicked off or not invited to?
But was he? Oh, he wasn't invited
he
to.
Wasn't invited. No,
he was never part of the cool kids, and rightfully
so.
He was never. He was never.
Daly's the coach, and Michael Jordan.
He was never. He was never
to tell Daly Isaiah can't be on this team. It's like
Jordan.
He was never that kid on the playground.
Was that the team that Leitner was on? The first dream team.
Mr. Leitner was a lone college student.
Yeah,
he should happen to the NBA. Like, look at all the international talent that's now in the NBA. Go find me an NBA franchise that isn't laden with international talent now.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the whole thing: the most popular sport in Japan is baseball, and baseball is an American sport. Dude, they took baseball and they produce some of the most elite. A lot of elite people come from Japan. They just took our sport. They said, "Hey, no, fans like it. They do it.
Yeah.
They same rules and everything.
Mhm.
It's like American baseball in Japan, but it's in Japan.
Basketball is very popular in the
another one,
Philippines. You know that?
Yeah.
That's the second one they took. Okay,
What?
so NFL's
Basketball?
right around the corner. They went MLB, then they went NBA, they went basketball. What's next? They're not going to go hockey.
Well, hockey's already international. I mean, hockey's huge. There's a professional, the KHL.
Hockey's not, but in
KHL
Japan, hockey's in Japan, really?
Well, yeah. Well, they've maybe not Japan, but in Europe.
What the last Japanese hockey team do in the Olympics?
Yeah, but I mean, look at the Olympics used to be the Swiss, right? The Czechs. I mean, hockey's pretty big in Europe.
Yeah.
The thing with football, like hockey, there's something to be strung there between hockey and football. They're cost inefficient for fans to get involved to start playing. Helmets, pads, all the equipment you need for football gets to be cost inefficient, which means it's not like a kid in Sao Paulo can just pick up and go play like you can soccer.
Hockey too, Ed. I mean,
same thing. It's very expensive. Ice time, pads, skates, the whole nine.
A coach that knows what he's talking about over there.
That's why you're seeing them start with the Olympics, and why, if you've been paying attention to Play 60 commercials for the last 4 years, the NFL is pushing flag football because it's cost efficient. All you need is a ball and some flag. So that's going to be the gateway. But you're showing them it's like I'm showing you the Ferrari when I have these games in Europe. I'm showing you the Ferrari, the NFL, but I'm giving you the Ford Escort flag football to get you to want to drive cars because you've been riding bicycles.
And so one NFL player per team they're talking, right?
Oh, for the flag? Well, the flag is not even. Well, I don't know how to break that down. I think it's per nation. Like for instance, like you're not going to tell the Canadians that they can only have one NFL player in their team,
right?
As many as they want. They're gonna. I think it's per. Like if you're the Detroit Lions, and let's say you can't have 4 Americans from the Detroit Lions on Team USA, but they can't stop 4 Canadians who are from Detroit.
Exactly.
They don't control Canada's national football team. They may have some control, but the roster for flag, I think, is only 10 people deep.
Yeah.
So I mean, is that going to be a concern? I mean,
they play both ways. I do believe you're right.
So it's gonna, and the captain of the U.S. national team already said, look, we really don't need the NFL players. We're already dominating everywhere we go. But if they can come ball, help us win a gold medal, cool. But it's a different game. I mean, it's good to get the professionals because once again, they're trying to grow. The big names are going to make the draw. That's going to get people wanting to play in other countries. That's it. But it's not like you're going to send, Tyreek Hill and Waddle both. You might send Hill, and then you're going to go grab a fast receiver from somewhere else.
Don't send nobody from my team. No.
I mean, for quarterbacks, I mean, are you going to send?
I'll send Jared Goff.
I'm sure you would.
I'll send Ginger Jesus.
Dick.
Yeah, or Sam Darnold because he's struggling right now.
Or JJ McCarthy. It doesn't really matter who they send.
Oh no, JJ McCarthy. No,
they could send a college quarterback and they'd be fine.
No, Trevor Lawrence would be the one I'd send.
And look at I would too. Send a guy who's on a struggling NFL franchise.
Yep.
A quarterback from a struggling.
Kyler Murray, I'd send him. Kyler Murray.
That's the cool thing about this, because in the morning show, some of the guys are like, oh hell no, I wouldn't let people from my team go. But it's like, you know what? Let's say you're a guy who's been in the league for 8 years and you're on a team that's not sniffing the playoffs anytime soon. Go get you a gold medal. Wouldn't it have been cool, if you were, who's a really good player that didn't even really sniff? If you're Barry Sanders and you could have gone and played for your country and at least won a gold medal.
Right.
Or Megatron. Or the funniest one of all, actually, Mr. Cash Money himself never got a ring. And when he goes to New England, he still doesn't get a ring. Those are the guys. Let those guys go play the Olympic Games.
And even you can even throw in Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some players on some teams like go through. Let's CMC. Yeah, he's at the end of his career. I don't know how much the running back is going to be used because like you can't run people over and flag. But like
he'd be one of those guys I send to Toronto. Makes sense,
dude. Torrey Holt. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but
Torrey did
Colts wide receiver, 88.
Marvin Harrison.
Harrison Jr.
Christian's a beast.
So there's some guys you could send, but they got to be able to play both ways, right? So, but
hey, perfect. Travis Hunter can play both ways.
Yeah.
He comes in on the offense. We're in 12. Then he runs back after the downs. He throws on number 21, runs back out.
Right.
It works, dude.
You know what's scary is what we're talking about is really happening. The Olympics is going to have flag football. It's really going to happen, and it's like scary.
But Chad, just think about it. Think back over the last decade, and if you start looking back over the last decade at all these little things the NFL has done, now you can start to put the pieces together and go, oh, this is where they're going. Like you see, okay, we're going to do games in London in the 80s, and they do a single game here, a single game there. They launch NFL Europe, which produced a couple good players. But
you're right, Ken. We're watching it happen before our eyes, and it's like just progressing.
And NFL Europe was missing the mark because it wasn't generating European-born players. So they scrapped it after a while because it was just importing guys who couldn't make the NFL and became like a D-League. So now, how can we grow it? And then they bring back London. And then they make it 1 game, then 2 games, then 3 games. Now let's sprinkle in some games in Germany. Let's sprinkle in more European games. Let's add, they're going to Spain. Now next year they're going to go to Paris. And let's add in Ireland. And let's now sprinkle in with back home to get girls and whatnot involved too, because they're the biggest financial base that spends money in the NFL. Let's get them playing flag football. Let's get this become international with the girls, push that, and then get the boys to start playing football by playing flag. Okay, now that they're playing flag, and now they want to see these NFL games in Madrid when it comes, and they're going to want to put the pads on themselves, and all of a sudden they're going to be Pop Warner leagues popping up in Europe, and they're going to grow a talent base, and the next thing you know, they're going to have academies, because we're the only country that doesn't do academies. They're going to start building academies over there for football, like they do for soccer, and they're going to start producing high-quality NFL-grade players.
I believe it's planned, Ken. I believe it's a
plan. It's a plan.
Yep. Yeah. They're just growing. They're growing the sport. They're growing the brand. NFL isn't happy being a billions of dollar industry. They want more billions. So
the only thing I don't know in this plan, because we can all see it coming, is are they going to do expansion?
No, they can't yet. They can't yet. It doesn't make sense.
Well, no, or do they add a team in London and a team in Germany, for example? Or
we talked about this earlier. What they do is they take 2 shit teams like the Cardinals and the Jaguars. They move 1 to Mexico City, 1 to Toronto. That's their start.
The Jags would move to London, if anything, because the owner of the Jags owns an English Premier League team.
You don't think Toronto wouldn't bring a bigger fan base?
Well, no, but he already owns infrastructure in London. He owns a stadium. He owns.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Why do you think they normally go there for 2 weeks? They already own all their own facilities over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's send the Eagles to London.
No, I think they would want to have their own teams, not import them. But that's going to be a question. Do they do 2 expansion teams in Europe and try to kick Europe off that way?
So, Ken, that's real. This billionaire already owns stadiums and everything in London.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He owns a Premiership.
I didn't know that either.
He owned his team in the Premiership before he owned the Jags.
Guess we were wrong, Darren.
Doesn't he have
Canada doesn't get a team. It's going to London and Mexico City.
Doesn't he have something to do with wrestling too?
What now?
Doesn't he have something to do with wrestling?
His son does.
The son. Okay.
Canada will never get an NFL franchise. They have the CFL. That will never happen. They will. If anything, the CFL
bankrupt the CFL.
No,
but Toronto could handle a team. We can't deny that. They would sell out.
CFL NFL merger.
Well, no, what will happen though? Think about it, though, Darren. If we go down that long-term thing, like I said earlier, and the NFL becomes FIFA, they'll just make the CFL conform to NFL rules, and they'll have their own league like they do now, and then they're part of the bigger regional, which would include the U.S., Mexico, Canada, the Caribbean islands, like CONCACAF is for soccer, and that would feed into a bigger.
All right, we're at our last.
Yep, we got to cut out right now. Sorry, guys, man. Hang out after if you want to talk.
On. So next Wednesday we can continue this.
Yep, and we'll see you in an hour on the House Hall Report.
All right, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like